Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. It is March 13th, and if you're watching this, welcome. I'm just a guy in my house with lots of time, I guess, right now. Usually I'm in the garage making stuff, but today I didn't get that many orders. I did them all earlier, so what is going on in the world? What is going on in the world? I don't know if you guys saw, but I saw this and I thought it was very funny. I saw that I just give you guys some context. I'm in California, right? So, I'm in California. And today I saw that Gavin Newsom has a podcast. And I just thought to myself, like, I just do a few videos here and there, and it takes a lot of time. And I just think it's funny that Gavin Newsom has a podcast because where does he have the time to have a podcast? Like, this is insane. I thought um, being a governor is hard work. Like, especially California's big, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. When does he have time to do a podcast? Like, podcasts are like hours of your time. Um, like that's crazy because it's not just the hour that you see or so of or hear of them, right? There's prep work. There's like all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. And it takes hours and days of planning to do one episode of a podcast, right? If you watch any of the most popular podcasts, they're not just like sitting there and just chit chatting. They have stuff that they bring up every once in a while, and that's part of the prep work, right? So, how does Gavin Newsom, governor of California, the seventh largest economy in the world, right, have time to do a podcast? That's insane. It makes you wonder, like, is being governor actually easy? That, like, I thought about this at some point, right? You work so hard to get up there, right? Trash guys here. You work so hard to get up there, right? And then once you get up there, I guess you have enough like employees and assistants and people to do other jobs. Like you're basically a master delegator, right? So once you get up there, is the job actually easier than you think? Like you think being governor or mayor, like think about it. LA was on fire and the mayor was vacationing, right? And then she gets back and she looks frazzled or whatever. But while she was gone, who was running LA? Like she's got like people under her that does everything. So yeah, that's that just makes you wonder like is high end government actually easy while low end government is super hard? Like I don't understand. How does he have the time? That's crazy. That's crazy, crazy. If you're just joining now, I was talking about how insane is it that Gavin Newsom has a podcast. Like, what am I doing? I'm just doing some computer work and checking my emails and all that kind of stuff. I would show you, but I don't think it's that interesting. But imagine if you had a job, right, and you get an assistant to do your job, and then you go start another job. Like it also reminds me of if you, I don't know if you guys follow the NBA at all, but Paul George also has a podcast, right? And he spends more time right now podcasting than playing basketball. So I guess that's the future. We're all gonna have podcasts, and that's how things are gonna go. Oh, that's insane. Like, can I be governor? Like, I feel like it's the same thing. I guess the same idea with being president. Like once you get up there, you have so many other people doing the the work and you think it's actually really hard, but once you're there, it's actually not. Because think about Trump spends so much time golfing that it makes you wonder if high-end government is actually easy. That's I don't know. I don't know why this morning, seeing Gavin Newsom having a podcast just made me chuckle inside so hard. Like I I just thought it should be harder. Like where do you find the time? Where do you find the time? Insane, insane. How's everyone's day going so far? That's I don't know why. I just once I saw that Gavin Newsom had a podcast, I just had to talk about it. As things are collapsing, he's rebranding himself. I mean, I totally get what he's doing. Um, I don't know you guys how closely you guys followed the cycle, the American election cycle last round with Trump, but Trump made a huge impact by going on to those podcasts. Like, I mean, I watched a whole bunch of them. When he was on the Theo Vaughn one, he seemed like a regular normal guy. That I'm like, okay, he's like a regular normal guy. And when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, same thing. He seemed likable, normal guy. So I feel like Gavin Newsom. Did you see Trump? No, I didn't. I'm not. I don't follow Aiden Ross. So he's like a. I guess he's more young. Like he's a younger, like generation. So I don't follow Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross, if I remember correctly, he's the guy that's into like crypto and stuff, right? Um, but I feel like Gavin Newsom's doing a rebrand because people hate him. So I'm telling you now, don't be surprised in the next election cycle, Gavin Newsom's gonna try to run, and maybe he's using this podcast to rebrand himself to be a normal guy because people hate him so much right now, and I just think it's the craziest, most silliest thing ever. Like, if you guys remember, the Democrats were complaining that the podcasters had too much power, they swayed the election, blah, 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 blah. Kamala totally could have gone to all these podcasters. They all invited her. Joe Rogan talked about it a gajillion times. He wanted her on, but she didn't want to come on. And who knows if that swayed the election or not. And then so now that Gavin Newsom has his own podcast, yeah, no, but she didn't. And that's what I'm saying. Where Joe Rogan offered and they turned it down, or they made it very difficult. I think what Joe said that is that she wanted him to fly to her, and it was only gonna be an hour, and they gave him all these like things that he was not allowed to talk about, and he's just like, that's just not how it works. Like when he offered, she was already in Texas. That's in a way, that's why he offered. Like, you're in Texas right now. Just come on over real quick, sit down, chat. He said that it was he didn't care what time it is, and you could talk about whatever you want to talk about. He doesn't care. He just wants to get to know her. And but she declined. And who knows if that would have swayed or not? Because I think the big issue that the Democrats had was they were still stuck in the old school method, like the old school politician, like, and that's what Trump is very good at. He was very good at breaking through, and I I don't know why. Like, can you imagine you had a job, and then instead of doing your job, you start a podcast instead? It's crazy. Insane. What else did I see today that I thought was super funny? Let's see. I I think I mentioned this before, but I think it's funny that as things are collapsing, right? Or it feels like things are getting tough. The Kardashians are coming with another season. And it's like the last thing you want to see is Kim and all those multimillionaires kind of fight with each other. While we're here trying to like just survive. So I don't know. I thought that was funny. What else did I thought was very interesting? Uh, I saw that Disney is trying to come out with a new Snow White, but apparently there's no dwarfs in it. It's like it's called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but we're gonna take out the dwarfs. Okay, yeah, no, the Kardashians are not talentless. I agree with you on that. They have talents. It takes it takes skill to get to where they are. Now I know some people are gonna say like, oh, they just did whatever to. No, they work hard to get there. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work to have all over your house to be interesting the whole time, right? Like that's a lot of work. Like, imagine you have cameras around your house and you're just sitting there watching TV, and people are kind of just like, "What is this?" Like, no, they have to constantly be doing something, and then it's tiring to talk all the time. Like, I know I'm sitting here trying to come up with topics to talk about all the time. It's tiring. So, no, it's actually hard work, and I'm pretty sure they but it's just that that's not what we want to see right now because I'm not blaming the Kardashians. They're just there, right? I'm more blaming the producers, the actual studio, whoever's doing it, because they're the one that pushes it, right? They're the one that offers the Kardashians the money to do this, and I think it's just the last thing we want to see right now. It's kind of like the Meghan Markle. She has a show out right now too, and it's basically a celebrity cooking show where she's cooking something and she brings in guests and they just chit chat or whatever, and it's just like we don't care, we don't care, we don't care. What else? What else? How is everyone's day going? It's raining here right now in California, but the sun just came out a little bit, so things are good. Nothing else that I thought it was that interesting. I mean, we can talk about. I heard today that there are Tesla batteries in the water outside the coast of California. I think that's an interesting thing to think about. There's battery. They're dumping batteries in the ocean apparently. Oh, do 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 do. What else? Is there anything you guys want to actually like talk about? Yesterday, we were talking about how Hollywood remakes movies. Do you think it's wrong to destroy Tesla? Sorry. Wow. Gotta drink more coffee. Sorry. Do I think it's wrong to destroy Tesla dealerships as a protest? I think it is. No, I do think it's a little bit wrong. You know what I really hate though is that people that are vandalizing other people's Teslas as a protest. It's like a lot of people bought like the dealerships. I'm kind of like, eh, but vandalizing someone else's vehicle, and you got to consider this, okay? Elon Musk built Tesla on Democrats and liberals, right? Those were the initial people that bought Teslas, right? And then he kind of made a flip flop to the other side, which I understand. But the people that actually own the Teslas, you're stuck with them, right? Because you're not gonna change your car all of a sudden just because Elon, went to the other side. That doesn't make any sense. So they're actually vandalizing on the same side. Hello, Bulk. Hello. So you know what I mean? It's like friendly fire here, okay? Uh, most people that have Teslas are more liberal. It's just a fact. Like I I have this theory that Elon moved to the other side, the Republican side, to try to gain another market because when Teslas came out, that's like lip stuff. Are we still doing the movie idea? Yeah, but we'll get back to it. I'm trying to answer Steiner's question here about the Teslas getting vandalized. So yeah, that's the part I don't like. It just feels like friendly fire in a way because no, who are the people that are protesting, right? It's liberals, right? Democrats, liberals, and who are the people that own Teslas? Liberals, Democrats. Like you don't see the typical Tesla owner is typically not a Republican. Uh, I don't care how much they're trying to spin it towards that way. And I was saying before, I feel like Elon's trying to move this way because maybe he saturated the liberal market already, and he's trying to gain a new customer, right? And I don't think it's working because for the longest time now, even Trump said it, like electric vehicles is some like libs, like like it's not manly, you know. So and then you see him now. They literally just did a Tesla commercial at the White House like 2 3 days ago, which that was funny. Trump, like you have to admit, Trump is always funny. Trump is always like he's so funny. And yeah, so I do think it's wrong to kind of mess with people's vehicles, especially they're just regular people too. Like that's their property. That's messed up. The dealerships, like I guess that's more. If you're gonna do something, I guess the dealerships a better move because that's more. You're hitting Tesla more. Getting someone's vehicle is just hurting another American. That's stupid. All right, so I guess I answered that question. You want to go back to the movie thing? I mean, we could still work on what was it, fumble on the docks, because I guess we're not gonna get the licensing rights for Rumble in the Bronx, but we can work on another movie. You know what movie? If they're remaking movies, a movie that I actually want them to remake, and it's a big. They don't have. I was thinking about this because I was watching movies with my kid, and like I was thinking about all the new movies. They don't have like monster movies anymore, slasher movies anymore. Um, like they don't have a Gremlins. They could remake Gremlins. They could remake um Chucky, right? Chucky or Child's Play. I think I've talked about this before. It was a big part of my childhood where watched like I watched it when I was little and I was scared of all my stuffed animals for the longest time. Like they should just remake all those. So the younger generation has some kind of like fear. They're just scared of random things. Um, I I'm telling you, I was scared to be in a room by myself for the longest time because of aliens. I watched the second Aliens. I didn't even know when I was a kid. I didn't even know there was another Alien. I didn't even know Alien exists. I always watched Aliens, and I just thought that was the movie. But I always remember the scene where the corporate guy like puts the face huggers into their room where Ripley was trying to sleep with what's her name, the kid. I feel like they're relying on remakes instead of coming up with genuine new plots. No, I agree, they are. But if they're gonna make remakes of stuff that's cool. They're just like remaking anything that they can possibly remake. I saw one. It was like they're. I mean, Disney has completely run out of ideas. I know Snow White, Harry Potter. You are now the director. Will shape the future of these. I know, but if they're gonna remake movies, I want to see. They're not creating culture. I think that's the issue. Like Chucky is an iconic character. When I say it, you think about the red doll. I mean, unless you guys are really young, maybe you guys don't know about it. But like that's an iconic character, right? When I say Gremlins, you kind of know what I'm talking about. They're not making new culture like icons like for the new generation. So that's what they need to do. Come up with any character. I don't care. Like, what are these execs doing? Because when they do remakes, right? Here's the issue too with remakes. You don't get merchandise. Isn't that the whole key? Aren't they always trying to sell like merch? Who? No one wants to buy another Lion King Mufasa, right, or Snow White thing, right? Um, People want to buy cool new characters. So don't they want to create new characters? Don't they have some kind of imagination to create a new character? You could sell Chucky dolls like crazy. Call him Bucky, and he could be like a redneck guy with a with a scythe. I was gonna say chainsaw, but they already have Chainsaw Massacre, and I feel like Bucky with the chainsaw would be too close. You gotta think about the merchandise here. They're not thinking about merchandise. You gotta sell, like you make money on the movie, you make money on the toys. Ask George Lucas how that is going. If you guys don't know the story about George Lucas, he owns all the or at least he had all the merchandising rights for Star Wars because they thought that it was gonna flop and be trashed, and they're like, yeah, you can have that, and he made his millions off licensing Star Wars stuff. So why don't they make new characters? Like, that's where the money is, guys. All right, let's go back. Hollywood has been overrun by political messages instead of storytelling, like Avatar. But Avatar is actually just a remake of Fungali, because when I watched Avatar in theaters, I left the theater like um thinking having a deja vu moment. Like because I was like, this whole story, I swear I've seen it before or heard it before. And then I remember in my childhood there was a cartoon. Was it Fargo? Fungal? I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I remember it was a guy that shrunk, and he started interacting with like these fairies and whatnot, and then some people wanted to come down and cut some trees. Hello, Mr. Zod. Yes. No. Maybe I don't have my papers. Maybe not. We'll see. And yeah, so Avatar is a complete remake. And to bring back to your point, I guess, about the political stuff in movies, I don't know. You guys have seen the new Snow White. They are having major issues with it right now because they have Gal Gadot on in there, and she is pro Palestine, and then the other co-star is, I don't even know her name, Rachel Ziegler, Rachel something, right? And she's pro Hamas. So they're in the movie together, and they're big on both sides of that whole argument, and they're just like clashing like crazy, and they hate each other so much. And then I gotta look this up. Supposedly, the new Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs does not have any dwarves because apparently dwarves are they're not kosher anymore. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. Apparently, we can't have dwarves in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So I don't know. I gotta look this up. This is just something I saw, so that's funny to me. Okay, what's with these actors not even liking the movies they're playing in? Because they need the moolah. Okay, they need the moolah. And the other thing that I was thinking about, right? Aren't you guys actors? If you guys know anything about actors, right? They are the most hollow um vessels there are. They have no thoughts inside their brains because think about how to be an actor, right? You have a character, you become that character. You think like them, you talk like them. You make them become life, and that character is you, right? So you get lost your own like who you are gets lost along the way. So I was thinking to myself like, ah, I thought you guys were actors. Why can't you just act like you like each other? Like, because they keep this up, right? I think people are starting to realize how terrible this new Snow White is, and especially with it's coming out that the actors don't like each other. They're most likely gonna shelf the movie. Imagine you spent all that time, money, making a movie, and no one's ever gonna see it. Oh, that's crazy. But we're gonna continue this talk a little bit. I have been something just came up real quick, so I gotta go, and I'll be back in an hour or so. So maybe we'll make a movie. Let's make a movie. Um, like go into any of my videos and comment on what kind of movie you want to make, and let's do it. Let's make a movie. We'll come up with the whole idea of a movie. I think we started talking about it last time. I think it's fun to kind of just let's see if we can make a movie better than Hollywood. All right, thanks for coming. I'll be back in a little bit. I got I gotta get take care of this errand real quick.